Hey y'all, it's Allie from Green Witch Mystics, and today I'm going to stir the cauldron a little bit and we're going to talk about transmutation. A lot of creators kind of make content and talk about transmutation like it has to be this big, extravagant thing and it's this really complicated thing, and you have to be very specific and precise about it. A lot of people are like that with general spells, but especially with transmutation it feels very like general and vague and difficult, and it's none of those things. So we're going to clear the air and I'm going to tell you what it's really about and some ways you can do it, and let's just get into it. I had to get my handy dandy notebook. Transmutation, same with all spell work and rituals, is most of the work's internal. Okay, most of the energy and the work happens internally. You could light 200 candles and burn pounds of herbs. It's not going to matter if you're not doing anything, or at the very least self-aware and honest with yourself. So, if you have no control over your mental well-being, your energy, your ego, and especially if you don't have and can't tap into any inner safety, any inner trust, you can't fall into your intuition, you can't slide into a safe little cushy place mentally for you, nothing, no transmutation is going to work. Nothing you try is going to work. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to do anything. So that's the first step in any spell work and in any practicing witch, is making sure you're consistently creating and curating and tending to and sustaining a safe and trusting, obviously external environment, yes, important, but internal environment. You want to have some introspection. The best tool in your toolkit is to deeply know yourself. You don't even have to deeply love yourself. You just, at the bare minimum, need to deeply, deeply know yourself and at least be willing to and open and curious to learning more about yourself and believing what you see and what you discover. So that's the first step that a lot of people don't have, aren't practicing, that you need to be practicing in your witchcraft practice, period. If you're a spiritual person, period. If you're a normal person that wants to be a functional, loving member of society, period. So that is the first step. It is a practice. It can be difficult and it's not linear. Like, we're human. Things are going to pop up, things are going to happen. You have to forgive yourself. You have to tend to yourself and keep pushing right on along. So, I want to talk a little bit about energy and frequency, and stay with me. Hey, stay with me. I don't love talking about frequency and energies because, and if you watch my stuff, I don't say that much, especially frequencies. I feel like it's been very watered down, and then the wateriness is just very murky and muddy and yucky now. But the way I see energies and frequencies, I mean, you listening to this right now, my voice is projecting a frequency that this is picking up, that's also attached to my phone, that is broadcasting into the interwebs and into your ear holes, and your brain is processing that information. All of this is a frequency, like a radio signal or a cell phone tower. And in the same way, where if you see a dog being really excited and happy, or you see one of your friends laughing at a joke, or you see a baby smiling, it makes you want to smile. Like attracts like. That frequency is enticing your energetic field to align with it. In the same way, when you see someone upset, you see someone yelling, whether it's at you, even if you just see someone yelling at another person, it's upsetting. It's that frequency enticing you to join it. So again, that is where introspection and awareness, self-awareness, comes in and is very important, because you have to be able to read and identify the energies and how they impact you. And if you're disconnected and disassociated with yourself and you don't trust yourself, you're not going to be able to transmute. So that is the first step. I'm sorry. Okay, so we talked a little bit about what frequency and energy is, and that is, again, that is just my belief. Anything I say is not like factual. If your beliefs differ, it's okay. Like neither of us are wrong. So an example that everyone has probably experienced with being able to like transmute energy is when someone tells you you can't do something, someone believes that you can't do something, and you turn that pettiness and spite into fuel to do the thing. And it always feels so good. Oh my God, it just feels so much better when you're just upset and someone tells you, like, oh, you can't do that. And then you do it. And then you do it. So that's an example. And again, internal. Like most people aren't lighting candles and doing that. So another big thing is a lot of people, this can be applied to like all spell work, they don't know the how and the why. But the how isn't always important, but the why is the most. Why do you want to do this? What is the why? Because if you don't have a true why, a concrete why, a solid foundational why are we doing this, no, anything else you build on top of that is not going to be stable and sustainable, and it's just going to crumble. So ew. so I'm not going to go through like all the ways you can do a transmutation spell and ritual, because you can find that. Okay, you can look that up right now on Google, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. You can find a ton of different spells, what candles you should light, what herbs you should light. Here's the different teas and baths. I'm not going to go through all that. Whether you take a bath, whether you write out a whole big thing on a piece of paper and burn it, whether you light 200 candles, I don't care what color candle you use, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing you need. You need to know the why, and you need to visualize how. Visualize, write down, feel the how. Well, how is this going to happen? And it can be more than one pot. Well, how can this happen? Because you need to know it's possible. You need to, brainstorm some ways. Well, how can I do this? Well, how can I transmute this? And why? And checking in. Well, why? And is that actually what I want? Is that what my soul wants? Is that in alignment with my soul? Or is that more of like an ego stroke, an ego drive? Like, no, I want to do this thing because I think I want to. Is it an emotional drive, or is it truly what you want? And you want to feel it too, because if you don't know how it feels, how are you going to know when you've accomplished it? How are you going to know you've had success if you don't know, okay, this is what it's going to feel like when I transmute this energy into this energy? This is why I'm doing this. And these are the ways how. Again, the how isn't necessarily as important as the solid why. It needs to be a solid why, and you need to know how it's going to feel. And how it should feel is safe. How it should feel is good. And if at any point when you're trying to feel these things during your ritual, and it's just not sticking, it's not resonating, that's not it. That's not it. And that's your ego. And it's not what your spirit wants. That's why there's a misalignment. So if you don't know the why, you don't believe in the why, you don't believe that can happen, it's not going to happen. If you don't have any trust in yourself, any internal safety in yourself, you're not going to be able to trust that you can do this process in the first place. And if you can't sit with the why and the feelings and the potential hows, but the feelings, you're not going to know when you did it. You're not going to know when you did it. And then if you do it and you do get it and you do feel that and you finally get there, that's also another checkpoint, a very important checkpoint of, okay, I have this feeling, so then that was successful, but is that all? Do I feel like this door has been shut? Do I feel this was truly successful? Because if there's still residual energy, if there's still a wounded ego, then transmuting was never a process you needed to do in the first place. There was some deeper shadow work, some more inner child tending that needed to happen than transmutation necessarily. So I think that's another thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, I need to transmute. No, I think you actually need to like sit and kind of go like this to the spider webs and find that inner hurt part of your ego that needs to be tended to and validated and hugged and kissed. And then you need to tell it to go away, because it's your turn to take up the space now. Okay, you're in a new safe space. You're in internally a safe space, hopefully, and physically a safe space. If not, you can trust you're gonna get there. So I think that's where I think that is where a lot of people miss the mark with transmutation, is they think it's going to be what they need. There was actually harder work. You're actually avoiding the harder work by trying to transmute it into this other thing, when you actually just need to tend to the thing. You need to tend to the thing first. You need to tend to that wound first. And then guess what? You don't have to transmute shit. You don't have to transmute shit. There's just a flow. There's no dam you have to, no, it's just a gushing river. So I guess that's a little bit of my hot take on transmutation, is most people don't really even need to do that. You're actually kind of making things a little bit more complicated. You could just like tend to yourself, your spirit, your ego a little bit more, and build up a little bit more inner trust and inner safety. And then what other people do isn't really going to matter. I bet that's not what you were expecting. So yeah, transmutation, you can do it. Most of the time, not necessary. Most of the time, if you find yourself you're needing to do it, there's something deeper you need to tend to first. And that's okay if you don't want to do that yet. Hey, if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. But that's the gag, is it's not going to go away. So you can light 200 candles and then have 200 successful transmutation spells. But if there's still an inner wound, I guess you're just going to keep doing transmutation spells forever? No. So I hope that makes sense. I hope some of this made sense. I hope some of this changed perspective on things. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine. Hey, that's okay. I'm just a person, and I'm not going to need to transmute that. So, I love you guys. I hope you found this helpful. Please leave suggestions down below for future videos, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.